public-private partnership. In short, it is called PPP. It's a type of contract, or it is a long-term benefit for constructing public asset by private agency, something like that. This is just relationship between private public sector or agency with private sector or agency. Right? So this is what we call public-private partnership, right? So it's not a very recent thing. It's been practiced for so many years. And then there are different types of public-private partnership depending upon the situation. Say, for example, construction of highways. Right? So it's a highly complex task because the specifications for a good quality road is highly essential, right? So in that case, government can, I mean, the land belongs to here. The land belongs to government, right? Say highways department, but they don't have much manpower or resource to construct the good quality stuff, so they outsourced via tender or something like that, right? So they outsource to specialized agency who have the competencies or skills or resources meet the required specifications. The problem is who's going to fund for this. That's a very important thing. Who's going to fund for that? So in that case, generally the source of funding is by the agency who for the project, right? So it's by the public, right? Agencies who quote for the thing. It is the private. I beg your pardon. It's private, right? But then how do they get benefit, right? So they pay money from their pocket and then they construct it for government, right? So what is their benefit? So their benefit is they hold the constructed facilities for a period of time, and then they return it to the government back, right? They hold it for some period of time and then they return back to them. So holding it for a period of time, what is the benefit the private agency gets, right? So during that time, they look into generating revenue or profit, right? So they look into generating revenue or profit, and then once they reach the profit, or I mean that period they agreed, like this is the agreed period, and then they will return it back to the government, which is the public, something like that. So this is what we call public-private partnership, right? So how do they generate revenue? Is like creating a toll, creating a toll booths, and then they collect money for people who or the commuters who use the road, especially the four-wheelers. who commute or to who takes the road, they have to pay the amount, like the toll amount, right? Say for example, if you want to travel from Kelambakam, it's a place, Kelambakam, both are in Chennai. Uh, you can even call this Solinga Nallur, Chennai. Even though both of these are in OMR, like Old Mahabalipuram Road, or Rajiv, like both of them there. Like if you want to travel to or like from whatever might be, right? So it's either way. If you travel, there is one toll booth charges fees 30 per singer and rupees 60 for return trap. Something like one way. Once you go from this place to this, it is 30, and if you come back from this place to this, and it is 60. So 60 rupees. It is differently for different things. Later, people who live in apartments in OMR between this toll booths, uh, they have a concession. They have, since they commute daily, they cannot pay this thing, so they have a concession card for fees 1,000 per year. So something like that, right? So it's not free anyway. It could be per use basis, or it could be something like a very minimal amount per year or something. So this might vary depending upon the recent scenario. Like, but this is the situation, right? So this is what one of the example of public-private partnership. Right now, let's take a look at different types of public-private partnership. In fact, during IBRD, we talked about World Bank procedure. We talked about different types of public-private partnership. Let's discuss on and other entities in PPP. Like the first one is BOO, is build and own and operate. So they build it and then they own it for a certain period of time and then they operate that particular time. So it does not talks about transfer of the public resource to the you know transfer of the usage of the public resource back to the government or something like that, right? So by the private, right? So then it is BOT, which is also the same, called build own. Instead of operate, they transfer. In that case, they also have got other related stuff. Build, operate, and transfer. And the third one, which is amalgamation of both, which is BOOT, which is build, own, operate, and then transfer. So these are some of the important things that you should know. Yeah, here it is. So these are the different types of public-private partnership. And not only these are very common in almost all the countries, but there are some other additional private partnerships, and such things are design, build, bid and build. Sorry, design, bid and build. So they design by a company, they bid by a certain company, and then they build once they get the successful bid. So it's a design, bid, and build. The next is, or this is also known as design, award, and build. Design, contract, award, and build. Here, award does not mean some achievement, but here it is contract award. It talks about contract getting awarded, then they build it, something like that. So this is also the same like that. And point number 5 is also pretty much an important thing. It is design, build, or design, construct. Right? They don't build, but they design and build. So building and construction have got the same meaning. So that's why it is design, build, or design, construct. Design, construct. So both the things have got the same meaning. So it is designed by the same company and constructed by the same company, which means that the company will have got almost everything together, right? Right. Now, a factor, probably this PPP with management facilities, and especially construction management, right? So design, build and build with construction management. So in short, it is PPP with CM. CM stands for construction management. So this is something that you should know. The management facilities. So this is one another thing. So far we talked about design, build, and build. So it is including management. And same way we also have the contract also, right? So design, bid and build with contract. So that is why you can see L&T, they refer L&T ECC. They have engineering, construction, and contracting and something like that. So design, build, bid, build, design, bid, which is contracting, and it is construction, DPC. But design, bid, and then it is construction. Something that you should know in different types of PPCs. Very importantly, other things like we will take from here. Design, build, operate, then transfer. PBOT. Or it is operate and maintain also. Design, build, operate, and then maintain. Maintain means like they maintain the particular thing for a period of time, just like leasing or something like that, right? So they maintain it for some period of time before they hand it over to the public sector. And then there are other things like financial related stuffs like build, lease, transfer. So it is called BLT. So which means that they build the facility and then lease it. Like as I told you, leasing is just a tenure given to some other as a ownership for some period of time. Once that period is lapsed, then they transfer it to the original owner. Um, then they can, that particular amount they paid as a lease amount, they will be getting back after a certain period of time. So the benefit of the owner will be the lease amount will be, incurring some interest, and that will be the benefit for the, the leaser or one who lease the premises, and the person who takes it is called leasing. And then we do have related stuff like build, finance, and maintain. We do have something called design, build, finance, maintain, which is BP. Just a second. Right. So point number 10 is design, build, finance, and maintain. Design, build, finance, and maintain. Right. And then other stuff like design, build, finance, maintain, and operate. Same thing. We do maintain and operate. So that's it from different things. But you can also have variable things, like for example here BOO, BOT is there, right? So you can even uh, take this BOT and then you can formulate it as DBOT, which is design, build, operate, and transfer, something like that. And then another thing called design, construct, manage, and finance. So design, construct, manage, and finance. And I think we have fairly covered enough of these things regarding the types of public-private partnership. Um, all right. So these are some of the important things. Nowadays, people talk about like turnkey projects, which is the encompasses all um, factors which we have seen, like design, build, construction, everything together. It's a whole holistic perspective, right? And then they talk about integrated project deliver. They talk about IPD, in which everything is integrated here. Like they talk about design, construction, operation, maintenance, financing, everything is involved here. It's a holistic perspective. So these are some of the other related stuff. And job order contracting. So another important thing is called job order contracting. Remember, we talked about piece-wise contract when we talk about types of contract, right? So this is something like not for entire project, for some specified work, something like that. Like for example, repair works, or not a very big task, but some specified work. You go for this job order contracting, something like that. And these are some of the important things that you should know about public-private partnership. It is basically how you deliver the project. You can also call this as project delivery mechanism and something like that, right? So I've given you a fair detail on this public-private partnership. I think you can go through these things in much detail and you could understand much better.